At this point, it's almost impossible to disprove the fact that Asmongold is one of the biggest morons on the internet. Everything he says is either a disprovable lie, word salad, or flat out ignorance. But let's be honest, what else can you even expect from an out of touch multimillionaire who spends thousands in games? Showed support to Ethan Klein's calls of violence against the NRA. He thinks that prescription medicine causes school shootings. He has very strong beliefs that Americans should not own guns and thinks the Second Amendment prevents people from owning 50 cals. If some people disagree with him, he will just ban them and without explanation say they are stupid and wrong, because his fragile ego cannot be touched. If multiple people disagree with him, he will just flat out ignore the subject and pretend it never happened. What an absolute coward. And those are just some videos that you can go watch on my channel, because this is all covered and documented. But today we're going to be looking at how Asmongold tries to analyze the information off of Google Trends. And this is absolutely wild. It's so hard to be wrong when looking at the data from Google Trends, but Asmongold just completely shatters expectations of stupidity. So without any further ado, let's watch.
Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, how about that? So the trial that they had is more popular than any of the movies that have come out. Let's see.
Not even 8 seconds in, and Asmongold is already completely misrepresenting what is right in front of him on this screen, because he is completely unaware of how this data functions and what it actually represents. And don't worry, if you don't understand it, at least you're not Asmongold, who's speaking in front of thousands of people while pretending that he is smart and understands anything that he is saying, because he's an absolute moron. And here's why. So first of all, he searched for Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. These are two completely separate search terms. And Google Trends represents when was that phrase and associated phrases to it searched the most. And obviously, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were the most searched when the trial was happening, because everyone was interested in. Was the trial more viewed than any movie that they have ever done? Actually, possibly. But the way that Asmongold understands it is completely wrong, because he thinks that in this graph you see right here, somewhere along this line is also Johnny Depp and Pirates of the Caribbean. When you Google Johnny Depp, the Google search engine has absolutely no associations with Pirates of the Caribbean by default. It's not in the search terms. If you write Pirates of the Caribbean, then you're searching for Pirates of the Caribbean, not for Johnny Depp. These two are completely two different separate phrases. And by the way, for anyone who's wondering, if he added here Pirates of the Caribbean, for example, it would still be a very bad way to tell how popular something is. Because it would be the popularity of searches, YouTube searches, and all of that jazz against each other. And you would not really have a point of reference to normalize them. His take on this is absolutely 100% wrong in every way.
Let's look at Lost Ark. First thing, Lost Ark the game. And obviously it's doing quite well. Lost Ark is popping off. There's a lot of people watching Lost Ark. It's actually gone up. It was at 6, now it's at 8.
So, he's wrong yet again. From Google Trends, it's almost impossible to gauge how actually popular a game is. Player numbers determine how popular a game is, not how much someone Googles or looks up YouTube content of it. From just a single search of Lost Ark, you can't gauge anything, because this is a 100, and there's gonna be a 100 if you also click past 12 years or past 5 days. There's always gonna be a 100 and the lowest point, because that in that time period is the most popular it was ever searched. In this case, this is the baseline. The best we can judge here is how fast the content boom dried up for Lost Ark from the creators and searches. And that can be sometimes a useful metric, but for what Asmongold is implying here, it's completely unusable and just flat out stupid to even assume that that works like it. Also, he said that this point was 6 where my mouse is, and the next point was 8, which means that Lost Ark is growing. Absolutely not. As we can see, this was the most popular that anyone searched for Lost Ark, and then it went down. And this is the normalization. This is the average what per day now it is Googling in this current state of popularity, which means that if we assign numbers for it, for example, let's say this peak of 100 is all 100 people who Googled and actively for Lost Ark content, even though these numbers are made up. But we don't have a baseline for how much is 100. It doesn't tell us that that's 5 trillion Google searches or 1,000 Google searches. We absolutely have no idea. So we can't put into perspective what we're seeing here just from one graph. But we can put from perspective this part where Asmongold says, oh, it's popping off and growing. We can say that that's false, because this is the baseline, which means that only the most dedicated people are actively searching and engaging in Lost Ark content on YouTube and Google and all the other places that Google Trends congregates their information from. That 6 means that maybe per day there's only like 10 people on average, like 10 people who Google something related to Lost Ark. And that means out of those 10 people, that 6 may mean that, 5 people Googled something, and the next day it's 8, because 8 people decided to Google. It's not actual growth. That's a complete misrepresentation of what you're seeing on the graph. But I wouldn't expect, honestly, better from Asmongold. He is an idiot.
Now, let's compare this over to World of Warcraft, okay? World of Warcraft.
This is where the stupid stuff really starts, boys.
What the fuck? Okay, there we go. WoW. So WoW is actually way more fucking popular than Lost.
The whole way that Asmongold sees these graphs, he thinks that this is a representation of worldwide trends of people actually liking and playing it. He is completely wrong. This does not represent the whole world, how popular it sees Lost Ark and World of Warcraft. Not even close. And here he's surprised, by the way, that World of Warcraft is bigger than Lost Ark, which shouldn't honestly come to surprise anyone. It's a much older game that has a more huge retention. There's people who have played Lost Ark are not necessarily clicking at random videos on YouTube about Lost Ark, but the people who have played World of Warcraft, a lot of people do click on news about World of Warcraft to see what's new and so on. And that accounts for a little bit here.
Lost Ark is, even now. Like, WoW is unironically popping off still. It's hard to say. Final Fantasy XIV?
Popping off is kind of an overstatement, considering it's technically dying, because not a lot of people like its current iteration.
Is Lost Ark popular? Yeah, I think it is getting more popular, but it's not as popular as WoW. WoW is fucking massive, man. And
again, he's saying massive. You really need to listen to the words that he uses here. He uses words massive because he thinks that this is somehow magically the representation of the whole world. He looks at this graph and he's thinking in his brain dead, well, cell dead brain, I should probably say, that like roughly 20% of the population of the world, or maybe gamers, it's hard to gauge how stupid he is at times, that's the amount of people who are playing this. Because he magically thinks that there's some kind of normalization for these numbers. But there is none. It's just how many people Google Lost Ark versus World of Warcraft.
Let's see. You guys want to look at Final Fantasy? Is it time? Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn. Okay, here we go. Guys, I don't know if I'm still going to play the game. Yeah, I mean...
This is going to be a little bit interesting.
Like, I mean, ew, man, it's just, it's not that, it's just, ew, man, like, it's all right, but I mean, shit, man. Let's, maybe I can search for this one instead.
Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn 14, or whatever the hell it's called, is a completely different search term from Final Fantasy just 14. Most people just search Final Fantasy XIV or whatever like that, not the full name of the expansion that they are currently on.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's not that bad. Yeah. So it's going to be on the 21st, and it's going to be great, guys. I'm really excited to be able to play it, and it's going to be super fun, etc. Do New World. Do you guys really want me to do that? Do you really want me to search for New World and involve this level of fucking, like, haven't they suffered enough? Hasn't it been enough? New World? All right, here we go. New World. Online game. Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Not really surprising.
Oh my fucking God. It's already dead? It's just, it extended the graph. Yeah, it actually made the graph bigger. Because they couldn't even, they couldn't keep it on the screen. The price right there, it's bad. So in Romania and Greece, they like New World a lot. But in South Korea...
See, this is the thing. He has no idea what he's saying. He's saying that in Romania and Greece, just because New World is the most popular there, seemingly, that they play it a lot. No, they don't. This is not what the data represents.
Korea, literally nobody fucking plays New World at all. They don't play.
Yeah, you see what I mean? He thinks that what he searched represents the whole world. It doesn't. The fact that people are Googling something more in a country doesn't necessarily mean that it's more popular in a country. He's currently looking at South Korea, and he's like looking New World less than 1. And he is instantaneously thinking that means that, like, literally not a single person is playing that game in South Korea. Now, honestly, that's probably true, because there's not a lot of people in general playing New World. But he thinks that because Lost Ark is only 86, that means that people in South Korea pretty much exclusively all just play Lost Ark. He is attributing this information to as all over the world representation.
Final Fantasy either, for that regard. Yeah, they just go hard as fuck on Lost Ark. Okay, let's look at
Now, it definitely does show. This definitely does show that South Korea 100% more people play Lost Ark than whatever. But the way he thinks about it is completely false. This doesn't represent the fact that no one plays New World. It doesn't represent the fact that everyone in South Korea plays Lost Ark.
Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, let's see where this game is. I feel like Elder Scrolls, Elder Scrolls has gone up a bit. I mean, I'm not surprised about that. They've had a few of their trailers at these recent game events, so it would make sense that the game would be a little bit more popular now, because more people are talking about it. Yeah, it's a new...
People talking about it doesn't mean shit. The fact that there's a new trailer means that people went to YouTube and searched Elder Scrolls new trailer. That's what they did. That's why it's more popular. Not because people are actually legitimately playing the game more. You see how these two things get mixed up? Just the fact that the trailer drops means that the graph is gonna go up, because at a certain time period more people are gonna look for it, because it's a big deal that the trailer drops. People want to see it, people Google it, people YouTube it, graph goes up. Doesn't necessarily mean that that new people started playing the game. Hell, actually people might have left the game actually at that time, because those things are not correlated.
Expansion, etc. Well, all that makes sense. Genshin Impact. Okay. That's right. Genshin's been dead for a while. I see that. Genshin Impact is fucking massive. 50% of Russia, of all of the traffic, is going towards Genshin Impact.
And again, a completely colossal stupid misrepresentation of what you see from Google Trends. He literally said 50% of traffic goes to Genshin Impact in Russia. No, that just means amongst these terms that you searched, 50% search Genshin Impact more than anything else. It doesn't have a real number to it. It doesn't mean that 50% of Russia wants or knows or plays Genshin Impact. No. From the small amount of people that play Lost Ark, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, and Elder Scrolls Online, that means that, 50%. The biggest one is Genshin Impact. That's essentially all it means. It doesn't have a real number to it. And this is what he constantly misrepresents, because those two brain cells that are rubbing in Asmongold's head against one another with the speed of light at this moment can only muster up so much IQ so he can just say something that's stupid.
In the United States, 39% of the United States, Genshin Impact. Brazil, 61%. They fucking love anime waifus down in Brazil. Look.
Well, yeah, but then again, if you would probably Google RuneScape against Genshin Impact, would that mean that 100% of Brazil most likely own... No, wait, Brazil could actually bot farm in RuneScape for money. Anyway, pick a country, pick Genshin Impact, pick a very unpopular game, compare the two. Does that... In Asmongold's head, would that 100% mean that, everyone in the world only plays Genshin Impact? Because it seems like it from the way that he is speaking and talking about these things.
Look at this. 61%. It's nuts, man. And look at... Oh my god, but why? Oh, I wonder why. Argentina, 63%. Let me go back and look at Genshin Impact. In Vietnam... Everybody fucking plays Genshin Impact in Vietnam.
You see? Everyone in Vietnam, he thinks that this is a representation of everyone in the country, or at least every gamer. I'm not sure how he can associate those things to be equal, but it's hard to put yourselves in the shoes of someone this stupid.
Vietnam. In the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, in Mexico...
Also, isn't Genshin Impact actually a mobile game, technically? And mobile games are, by the way... Because these are all countries, essentially, that he is showing that are very big on mobile gaming. So, wasn't Genshin Impact a mobile game, technically? Can it not be played on... I'm pretty sure it can, right? I may be wrong about this, but that would technically explain why these countries are so into Genshin Impact. Because these are all countries that are extremely heavy on mobile gaming culture.
They fucking love their waifus in Mexico. Let me tell you that right now. Look at this. How much is it? 78%. And the other 14% play World of Warcraft. How about that? Try Endwalker. The Final Fantasy one is really hard to say. So here's the way that Google, just so anybody who doesn't understand this does, and just explain it. So here...
This explanation is going to be so stupid, but he's almost right. If I hold his hand and try to rephrase everything that he says. So let's hear it out.
Here's the way that Google does their trends. Is that they basically have a bucket. Imagine like the bucket is like Lost Ark. The bucket is World of Warcraft or Genshin Impact. And every other search term that's associated with these different buckets goes in the bucket. So whenever it says online game, that's because Google has put that as a bucket that other search terms goes into.
Okay, so essentially this is extreme word salad. But he almost... I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just explain in, I don't know, human terms, in actual cohesive sense, what does he mean? Okay, let's take World of Warcraft. Online video game. So, if you Google World of Warcraft, it will count towards a Google search for World of Warcraft. If you Google World of Warcraft skinning guide, it will only go towards World of Warcraft because the only reason you search skinning guide is because it's associated with World of Warcraft. If you search skinning guide separately, it will not be associated with World of Warcraft. But and it will not go towards World of Warcraft. It will be just separate. But if you search World of Warcraft skinning guide, it will only go in World of Warcraft because you are not actually interested in a skinning guide. You are specifically interested searching information towards World of Warcraft. And even though you have literally the word skinning guide searched, it will only count towards World of Warcraft, not the term skinning guide in general. I hope that's the easiest way to explain this.
The problem with Final Fantasy XIV is that the bucket for Final Fantasy XIV, there's 2 or 3 different buckets. So it's hard to get an overall measurement of how popular Final...
He is actually technically almost right here. Everyone, applaud to Asmongold. The moron was almost right at something. Because we saw it when he searched it initially. There was Final Fantasy Realm Reborn 14 or whatever the hell it was called, right? That technically is distinct enough to be a separate term search bucket in Google's engine's eyes. So it is. But the point is, how many people search World of Warcraft Burning Crusade, Alchemon Dawn? Okay, there is World of Warcraft Classic now, so maybe that's not the best example. But how many people search the full expansion name of the content that they want to do in World of Warcraft? No one. If you want to do Mists of Pandaria achievements, you're searching for World of Warcraft Pandaria achievements. And it counts towards World of Warcraft. They're technically most I haven't tested it, but there most likely also exists a specific category for World of Warcraft 2 dots, semicolon, or whatever the hell they used, Mists of Pandaria, Burning Crusade, and so on. Technically also World of Warcraft has these ginormous buckets of different things.
Fantasy is? Because you have all of the search results being aggregated into 2 different places, so they're not all combined. And try Diablo Immortal.
Now the takeaway from this will be absolute. The Diablo takeaway is essentially where I pretty much gave up all hope that Asmongold will ever understand anything that he's speaking about.
It's dying.
It's dying. It's dying. Why are you supposed to Google about the Diablo Immortal? Why are you supposed to YouTube about Diablo Immortal every single day? There's no guides needed. There's nothing needed. Obviously, it's gonna go down. How does he judge that it's dying from this graph? It's like the pinnacle of stupidity. When I was first at this moment at the video, I literally goddamn lost it when he said this. It's like, I don't even know. It would be kind of funny to know how Asmongold's peanut brain functions to get deductions like this. But at the same time, I'm afraid that my brain cells are gonna die if I figure out how he thinks, because you can't get the idea that it's dying. It's just. Obviously, when it launches, people are searching reviews, people are searching articles, people are searching YouTube videos, first impressions, all of that jazz. Obviously, they're not going to be searching for, less people is the correct term, are going to be searching first impressions video Diablo Immortal after a week that it has been launched. Of course it's gonna work like that. Obviously the graph goes down, but it doesn't mean that it's dying.
Wait, what? It's actually dying. Look at this.
No!
It's going down.
No!
It's going down. Look at this.
No!
Because it was like not popular at all. We'll look at the
Yeah, it was not popular at all because it didn't exist.
Past 5 years, okay? So if you look at past 5 years, that was the blip.
And this is also, again, a really crazy part. Because he understands that the blimp here was because it was announced and it was the BlizzCon when it was announced, right? But he is too stupid to correlate. It's so hard to explain, honestly. The fact is that he shouldn't understand what this blimp here means, but he somehow magically does understand why it's there. But then he thinks that this going down is the idea that the game's dying. Sure, the most popular moment for the game on absolute average is the moment when it launches. You know, If a game launches, the most popular it will ever be is most likely the first like month or week or day when it launches. I'm saying most likely because if a game launches, for example, at Tuesday, its peak players could be on a Sunday, and a Saturday. That happens a lot, by the way, because a lot of people have jobs and so on and so on.
Right? Whenever Diablo Immortal, hey, don't you guys have phones? Don't you guys have phones? It went up a little bit.
I have Diablo Immortal review, by the way, for anyone wondering. It's pretty good. Check out the channel.
Right? And then now we have, obviously this was like the little alpha, I guess, of whenever it came out, the beta. So past 12 months, let's go ahead and look at it again. Diablo Immortal, 23, 23, 15.
He didn't even read the numbers correctly. It was 22.
The game is already dying again. It's already...
Every game literally looks like that. Do you not just see the Lost Ark thing? And you were... Like, this is crazy. Because he sees Lost Ark, he says nothing. He sees Diablo Immortal, he says it's dying. He sees a little blimp up, and he suddenly Lost Ark is just getting more... It's crazy. The way he thinks about stuff is just uniquely stupid. Not just stupid. It's a unique level of stupid.
Already fucking dying. Nature is healing. I don't know, because like there's gonna be a lot of people. The thing is, these games can survive on like basically extracting the fucking life essence.
And this is a thing that he should have actually got right, but he kind of got it a bit wrong. His whole point in what he is saying currently is here, cash grab games that, you know, are where whales are supposed to spend literally up to tens of thousands of dollars survive on whales. And they just do their job. They just milk the whales and call it a day. He's absolutely right, by the way, here. Well, kinda.
Out of whales for the next 6 months until they shut down the game and make the brand new, crazy new game, Diablo Immortal 2.
I wonder when they're gonna shut down Diablo Immortal. It's probably, honestly, gonna be never. It's so insane to think about it. Because if you have one person actually playing, well, you don't exactly need a lot of server capabilities. You can easily just accommodate enough server capabilities just for those couple of whales that are going to be spending thousands upon thousands upon thousands monthly. So, technically, you don't actually need to shut down these games. In fact, we currently have a lot of games on the market that are extremely old, and they have millions of cash options, and whales just keep them alive. And in reality, the server can't handle more than, 1,000 people, and then it crashes. Because it's dedicated to consume as little money as possible, and just milk the whales for every last buck that they are willing to spend.
It's nuts. It's not released in China yet? Oh, okay, well then, yeah. Well, let's talk about, if it's not released in China, let's just look at USA, okay? Let's see how popular it is in the USA. Okay, United States. Fuck. Well, actually, WoW is more popular. So, Diablo Immortal was never even more popular.
I can't. Actually, this is gonna continue for a pretty long time, so I guess we're stopping the video right here because it's probably already 30 minutes or something. Jesus Christ. 7 minutes in, and there's already 30... Imagine, I would be stuck here for like 20 hours if I did the full hour. I used to say that it's fine, Asmongold at some point is gonna learn, but that was months ago. That was literally months ago. And he literally has not progressed a single iota at being better at analyzing data. Honestly, I think he has gotten worse because all he does is bans the people who disagree with him and never considers himself wrong. It's insane. It's wild. Anyway, this was Quizzer Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the channel. Check out Discord. Check out everything. Everything. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.